As we all know, the military strength of the Tempest Federation is absolutely crazy, especially during the later parts of the series, and in my breakdown of the entire Tempest Federation military, I briefly went over one of their strongest units, the Black Numbers. So in this video, I wanted to do a full breakdown on the entire unit and we'll be covering things like their formation, the strength of their members, the exploits of the unit, and other things as well. As usual, there will be spoilers for the story and characters of Tensura, so here's a spoiler warning just in case. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and maybe subscribe to the channel for more Tensura content like this in the future. To start, how was the Black Numbers first created? Basically, the idea started when Diablo was getting tired of all the miscellaneous jobs that he was given because he just wanted to stay beside his master Rimuru. Things like overthrowing governments, destroying nations, or other chores along that line were mundane to him, so he decided to find his old friends and recruit them to join the Tempest Federation. Rimuru gave him the permission, so he returned to the Nether Realm to find his old friends who were actually the primordial demons White, Yellow, and Purple. And despite the demoness trio having difficult personalities, Diablo somehow managed to convince them to join the Tempest Federation and they followed him back to meet with Rimuru. But before that, Diablo had also recruited a special greater demon that he had met during his time in the Nether Realm. He found the demon to be interesting because despite living only less than 50 years, this demon was already in possession of a unique skill, so he decided the demon would be useful to his master Rimuru. And with the new recruits, the total fighting force that Diablo gathered is 710, not counting himself. For context, the Demoness Trio each led 2 Demon Lieutenants, and those Lieutenants have 100 Demon Soldiers each. The same goes with the Greater Demon under Diablo. Now they will return to Tempest, and the Demoness Trio was introduced to Rimuru. Initially, they weren't too impressed by Rimuru, but when he easily saw through their hidden aura thanks to Wisdom King Raphael, they were convinced of his powers and pledged their loyalty to him. Afterwards, they moved to Ramurus' Labyrinth so the other demons could swear fealty to Rimuru as well, and later they would be given Majesty bodies to inhabit. And to quicken the process, Rimuru used Gluttonous King Beelzebub to predate the demons and then using Raphael to fuse them onto the emulated souls of the Majesty bodies. The demons would then take 2 to 3 days to fully integrate with their new bodies, and during this period, they also altered the bodies according to their own preferred forms. As for the Demoness Trio, Rimuru wanted to give them special bodies, so he decided to mix gold into the Majesty bodies to create Orichalcum bodies. The Orichalcum body was stronger than normal Majesty bodies and they have better magical conductivity. And with that, the Demoness Trio started integrating with their new bodies and Rimuru used Raphael to even alter their appearances to look more human and less demonic. After the demons had integrated with their bodies, they burst out from the growth capsules and Rimuru decided to give them names as well. And if you didn't know, all the names of the demons we know of were named after sports cars from Rimuru's past life. The White Primordial was given the name of Tensura and 2 of her demon lieutenants were named Moss and Xian respectively. The Purple Primordial was given the name of Ultima and 2 of her demon lieutenants were named Veyron and Zonda. The Yellow Primordial was given the name of Carrera and 2 of her demon lieutenants were named Agara and Esprit. For the greater demon that Diablo recruited, he was given the name of Venom. And after the naming, the Demoness Trio would evolve from Archdemons into Demon Peers, and 2 of the Demon Lieutenants evolved into Demon Peers while 4 remained as Archdemons, with Venom evolving from a greater demon into an Archdemon. The Demon Soldiers would also evolve after the naming process from lesser demons into greater demons, and some even managed to become Archdemons as well. When the demons completed their evolution, this was basically the day the Black Numbers was born. And with all the members having at least the rank of A, they would eventually be known as the strongest military unit of the Tempest Federation, surpassing even the Hiru led by Gabiru and becoming a true symbol of fear for any future enemies of the nation. That said, the Black Numbers isn't really considered to be an official unit of the military, so they are completely independent from Benimaru's command, and they only take orders from Rimuru, Diablo, or the Demoness Trio. Also, they can only be deployed when Rimuru gives the orders, and the chain of command goes from him at the top to Diablo, then to the Demoness Trio, then to the respective Demon Lieutenants, and finally the Demon Soldiers. Now, as for what the Black Numbers actually does, they normally help in the various branches of the government during peaceful times. For example, the Demoness Trio was each given a special position within the government. Tensura was working as the military attaché of the Tempest Federation and representing them on the Western Council. Meanwhile, Ultima served as the Chief Prosecutor of the Public Prosecution Office, and Carrera was the Chief Justice Officer of the Supreme Court of Tempest. But besides that, the other members of the Black Numbers also helped in miscellaneous work like acting as bodyguards, spying, or gathering information. Having said that, let's talk about the times when the black numbers were deployed in battle. The first was when the forces of Gi Crimson were invading the western nations from the north because the Guardian of the North Razu had joined Granba Rosso in Lubarius to fight against Rimuru and Luminous Valentine. This left the northern border defenseless, so Tensura was ordered to deploy her demon soldiers. Xian would be the one to lead her forces to hold all the enemies while they waited for reinforcements from Sarian to arrive. Luckily, Gi wasn't really trying to invade, so his forces were quickly defeated and retreated back to their domain. Also, when this was happening, Venom and his subordinates were acting as the security detail for the Tempest Orchestra, so they were in charge of protecting them and the other Werder children that had tagged along. Eventually, Granba was defeated and the black numbers were recalled back. Now, another time they were deployed was during the Eastern Empire invasion, and for the first half of the war, only the Demoness Trio and their demon lieutenants had participated. Nothing much happened during the first half of the war, and the Tempest Federation easily won. During the reward ceremony, Diablo was given 100,000 souls to awaken as a true demon lord, and the blessings he acquired were passed on to Venom along with the 100 demons under Venom's command. This caused Venom to undergo an evolution of his own, becoming a full demon peer, and his demon soldiers evolved as well, likely into archdemons. Unfortunately for the Demoness Trio, Rimuru didn't have enough souls to awaken them, but they will be awakened during the second phase of the war. Speaking of the second phase, the Demoness Trio along with their demon lieutenants were deployed again, and this time they were sent to Dragon to provide backup. On the battlefield in Dragon, the Demoness Trio had to fight against the Scorched Dragon Valgren. Veyron and Zonda were assisting Gabriel against Malcolm, while Agera and Esprit were trying to fight against Lieutenant Kondo. Sadly, the black numbers failed to stop their respective opponents, and the Imperial forces soon retreated once Emperor Rudra had captured the Storm Dragon Jura Tempest. It was after Jura was taken that Rimuru decided to unleash the full might of the black numbers, and he summoned the remaining demons through the Gate of Creation. However, only 600 demons were present as Venom was currently protecting Masayuki Honjo inside the labyrinth, which I'll talk about in a bit. And because the Empire has incurred the wrath of Rimuru, he ordered the black numbers to show no mercy, allowing them to spread death and destruction upon the remaining Imperial forces. Rimuru also decided it was time to give the Demoness Trio the souls needed to awaken into true Demon Lords, and they managed to evolve into Devil Lords, the highest evolutionary stage for the demon race. And similar to Diablo, their subordinates all received the blessings and they have all evolved into supreme beings. The black numbers was then left to Diablo to command, but he decided to transfer command over to Benimaru. So Benimaru organized their assignments. The Demoness Trio along with Veyron, Agera, Esprit and Zonda would join the raiding party to attack the flagship of Emperor Rudra, while Xian would lead 500 demon soldiers to reinforce Gabiru and clean up the remaining Imperial forces. The leftover demon soldiers would surround the flagship and prevent anyone from escaping, and Moss would continue his job to gather information on the battlefield. Now, regarding the battle inside Rudra's flagship, Agera, Esprit and Zonda would team up to fight against Garcia while Veyron had a rematch against Malcolm. Also, I won't be talking about the Demoness Trio because I already went over their fights in their individual character videos, so be sure to check those out if you're interested. The battle involving Veyron and Malcolm was fairly quick. Basically, Veyron had acquired an ultimate gift during the battle, and with a boost in power, he was able to defeat Malcolm. As for the 3-on-1 fight, Garcia was constantly pressuring them and none of their attacks worked. However, they finally defeated Garcia when Agera transformed himself into a golden blade to give Esprit a boost in power, and she managed to pierce Garcia's defenses and decapitate him. As this was happening, Venom was protecting Masayuki inside the labyrinth and they were attacked by Kornu, one of the Phantom commanders. Venom tried his best to protect Masayuki, but Kornu was simply too strong for him. Luckily, Venom received some reinforcements when Kalguriel, Minute, Jiu, Bonnie and 3 of the Vampire Surmounters had arrived. And using Masayuki's ultimate skill to boost their powers, they were able to hold Kornu off until Valgren eventually arrived to dispose of the Phantom commander. With that, the war with the Eastern Empire ended and they were recalled back, but they were deployed again when the war with Phantom King Feldway and the Manas Michael was about to begin. For the upcoming war, Rimuru was ordered by Gi to distribute his forces to the other Demon Lords, so he sent members of the Black Numbers to different locations. Ultima and her forces were sent to Dagru's domain, the Holy Void Damagania. Meanwhile, Tensura and her forces were responsible for protecting the western nations. As for Carrera's forces, they were divided into two portions. Carrera and Esprit would help in Milim's territory while Agera remained in Dragon. As for Venom, he was ordered to continue to remain by Masayuki's side. Anyways, that was the few times the Black Numbers were deployed in battle, and now I want to go over some of the most recent information about the lieutenants of the Black Numbers after their evolution, like their threat levels, existence values, and abilities. So starting with the lieutenants of Tensura, Moss was still a demon peer and he currently has an EV of 1 million, making him part of the Super Awakened class. His title is known as the Empress's Confidant and his unique skill is called Collector. This skill allows him to split into small clones and infiltrate various places. As for Xian, he evolved into a demon peer and now has an EV of 286,000, giving him a threat level of a lower disaster class. He is known as the Empress's secretary and his unique skill is called Recorder, likely an analytical ability. Also, because the both of them didn't participate in the previous battle with the Empire, C wasn't able to upgrade their abilities. But moving on, when the Lieutenants of Ultima, Bayron was still a demon peer and he currently has an EV of roughly 880,000, so his threat level is at the upper disaster class. He was given the title of the Poison Princess's Butler, and he's one of the 2 demon lieutenants that managed to acquire an ultimate gift when his unique skill imitator was evolved into the ultimate gift Artist, allowing him to transform into people he has seen before and copy a portion of their powers, although it seems like there's a limit to who he is able to copy. For Zonda, his EV is roughly 300,000, making him a lower disaster class individual, and he managed to evolve into a demon peer as well. He also possesses the unique skill Chef, and no, this isn't like Shion's unique skill Chef. Instead, it simply allows him to heal injuries by cooking it, whatever that means, and it's only fitting that his title is known as the Chef of the Poison Princess. So for Carrera's lieutenants, Agera has an EV of 733,000, making him an upper disaster class threat level, and he has now become a demon peer. He is known as the Tyrant's Master because he teaches Carrera the art of the musician livestream. He was the second demon lieutenant to acquire an ultimate gift called Blade Transformation, which basically allows him to transform into a golden blade, and he can even attach the skills he has mastered to the holder of the blade, boosting their power in the process. Then we have Esprit, the Tyrant's friend, because of their similar personalities, and she has an EV of around 550,000, making her a disaster class individual as well. She has evolved into a demon peer and is in possession of the unique skill Discerner, allowing her to observe and even share her perspective with others. It's actually interesting how Carrera's subordinates are the only ones with titles that are more personable and friendly. Maybe she's the best primordial demon, at least in terms of the way she treats her subordinates, but that's just my opinion. Hopefully in the upcoming volume, the Black Numbers will get some action again and show the enemies the true might of Rimuru's personal death squad.
この者どもをお使いくださいませ。この者たちもあなた様のお役に立てるなら光栄です。
So yeah, that's everything on the Black Numbers, the strongest unit in Tempest, and who's your favorite member and why. I would love to see your choices in the comments down below. Also, if you guys want me to talk more about the individual members, leave a like on the video, and if we get maybe 500 likes, I'll do one for each of them. Anyways, feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button for more breakdowns like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe everyone.